Hi, I'm Heather and I'm a therapist at Octave. One of the biggest misconceptions about healthy relationships is that healthy couples don't fight. The truth is, every couple has conflict. Conflict is a normal and healthy part of every relationship. The issue isn't whether couples fight, it's how they fight, and just as importantly, how they repair afterwards. If you've ever thought, how are we having the same fight again? You're definitely not alone. Couples who stay stuck often find themselves feeling misunderstood, and they start seeing each other as the problem instead of recognizing the pattern that they're trapped in. Today, I'd like to talk about why couples get stuck in these repeating cycles and how therapy actually does help to break them. One of the things I always tell couples is that every conflict has two conversations happening at once. There's the conversation about the issue, such as money, parenting, chores, and then there's the emotional conversation about what's happening underneath it. People rarely come to therapy because of the dishes. They come because of what the dishes mean. There's often a deeper question like, can I count on you? Do I matter to you? Are we on the same team? Most conflict isn't really about the surface issues. It's about wanting to feel understood, valued, respected, and emotionally connected. One of the biggest reasons both partners end up feeling misunderstood is that during conflict, we're often listening to respond rather than listening to understand. For example, one partner may bring up a concern because they're feeling unheard. The other partner, especially someone who tends to cope by avoiding conflict or shutting down, may withdraw because the conversation feels overwhelming or they're worried that they'll make things worse. That withdrawal often leaves the first partner feeling even more alone or dismissed, so they push harder to be heard. Before long, both partners are reacting to each other instead of responding to what they actually need. What starts as a small conversation about taking out the trash can quickly become a conversation about whether someone feels appreciated, supported, or important in the relationship. When conflict escalates, it's not just an emotional experience, it's a physical one too. Our nervous system starts responding as if we're facing a threat. Our heart rate increases, stress hormones are released, and our brain actually shifts into survival mode. And when that happens, we're much less able to think clearly, listen with curiosity, or solve problems effectively. Instead, we're more likely to become defensive, criticize, and shut down or say things that we actually don't mean. So when we feel threatened, our brains stop trying to understand. They start trying to survive. That's why arguments escalate so quickly. Nobody is intentionally trying to make things worse, and therapy can help to slow that process down enough that you can actually choose a different response. When we're in conflict, it's so easy to get caught up in reacting to each other instead of understanding what's really happening. Therapy creates a space to step back and ask, what's underneath this? What are we both trying to communicate? Together, we start identifying the patterns that keep showing up, the cycle they've been getting caught in, and help both partners understand how they're each contributing to it, often without realizing it. Something that I teach couples I work with is the timeout method, which is an agreement and understanding that we are going to identify our own triggers and when we need a timeout, which is exactly what it sounds like. You and your partner taking a break from the conversation you're having and calming your body and your minds down. So I have a couple that I've been working with, and the timeout method has been a magical game changer for them. They've done an amazing job in being able to recognize the warning signs that a conversation is escalating to the point where they're no longer hearing each other. They're just yelling at each other. And so they've been able to take a break for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Sometimes it's been a few days, but they have a conversation about when they're ready to resume and hear each other. A big piece of arguing in a healthy way is being able to recognize your own triggers, recognize when you feel yourself escalating, and also when your partner is escalating. But beyond the skills, I think that one of the most powerful parts of therapy is helping couples reconnect with the reasons why they chose each other in the first place. I spend a lot of time with couples helping them to connect to their why. Why did they choose each other? What do they value about this relationship? What kind of partnership are they trying to build? During conflict, it's so easy to lose sight of those things because the focus becomes winning the argument or proving a point. In therapy, we're constantly helping couples shift from me versus you to us versus the cycle. So when we start seeing our partner as the problem, it's really easy to fall into a mindset of, if only they would change, we'd be okay. But that mindset often keeps couples stuck because they're focused on changing each other instead of understanding what each other needs. Sometimes the answer to the question of what I need right now might be space. And so take that space, but communicate it to your partner and say, I hear you. I would like to continue this conversation, but I just need a 5-minute break right now. Giving each other the time to prepare emotionally changes the entire conversation. Instead of, why would you do that? Try, help me understand what was happening for you. Curiosity immediately lowers defensiveness, and curiosity is one of the first things couples lose when they're stuck in conflict. So once you understand what's driving the conflict, communication tools become so much easier to use because you're no longer just reacting, you're responding with intention. Relationships don't change overnight, but even small shifts in how we communicate, listen, or respond to one another can create meaningful change over time. Ultimately, couples therapy isn't about creating a relationship without conflict. It's about helping couples build a relationship where they know how to navigate conflict, repair when things go wrong, and continue choosing each other, even during the difficult moments. More than anything, I hope that couples leave a session feeling more connected than when they walked in. Not because every problem was solved during that session, but because they feel like they understand each other a little bit better than when they walked in the room. If you and your partner are considering whether therapy is a good idea for you, I encourage you to talk about it. Talk about what your concerns might be. Talk about whether either of you have your own experiences in therapy and can contribute to what it might feel like to sit in the room with a therapist. For more information, please go to findoctave.com. And thanks so much for taking the time to sit with me today.